June 11, 2026. 87,000 people, one stadium, and the eyes of an entire planet. The FIFA World Cup 2026 begins at Estadio Azteca, Mexico City, with an opening ceremony. The theme? Papel picado, Mexico's centuries-old tradition of decorative paper cutting, reimagined on the biggest stage in football. Before a ball is kicked, the Azteca will hear the official tournament song, Die Die, performed live for the first time. Artists including Shakira, Burna Boy, Maná, Alejandro Fernandez, and J Balvin will take the stage. And then, the match. Mexico against South Africa. The same fixture that opened the 2010 World Cup. 16 years of unfinished business. On June 11, 2026, Mexico hosts South Africa. And this is no ordinary opening game. This is a reckoning. To understand this fixture and what June 11, 2026 means, you must first understand this place. Estadio Azteca, Mexico City. 2,200 meters above sea level, where the air is thin, the lungs burn, and ordinary players become legends, and legends become gods. In 1970, Pelé won the World Cup here, the crowning glory of the greatest team the game had ever seen, the greatest player who ever lived on this pitch. In 1986, Diego Maradona raised his fist to the sky after punching a football into the net with the hand of God, and the entire world didn't know whether to laugh or weep. The Azteca doesn't just host history, it writes it. And on June 11, 2026, for the third time, this stadium opens a FIFA World Cup. The first, the only stadium in the history of the sport to host 3 World Cup opening matches. If these walls could speak, they would tell you, what happens inside here changes everything. But to understand why June 11, 2026 matters so deeply, you have to go back to Johannesburg, back to June 11, 2010. 84,000 people inside Soccer City, an entire continent holding its breath, and a 25-year-old winger named Sipiwe Shabalala receiving the ball on the left flank. He cuts inside, he looks up, and then, with his weaker left foot, he unleashes something that goes beyond sport. The stadium doesn't just cheer, it roars. The country doesn't just celebrate, it weeps. A nation that had spent decades tearing itself apart, through apartheid, through poverty, through division, stood as one, in one single moment, because of one single goal. But football is ruthless. Rafael Marquez equalized for Mexico. South Africa won their final group game, but it wasn't enough. They became the first host nation in World Cup history to be eliminated in the group stage, exiting on goal difference. The party was over, and the wound never fully healed. Because here is the brutal truth about Bafana Bafana. 3 World Cup appearances, 3 group stage exits. Every single time. 1998, France, eliminated. 2002, South Korea and Japan, eliminated. 2010, on home soil, in front of their own people, eliminated. And then, nothing. 2014, 2018, 2022. 12 years of watching from the outside as the world's greatest tournament played on. Without them. This is not a squad arriving in Mexico City with ambition alone. This is a squad carrying weight, psychological, historical, generational weight. Every match they have ever played at a World Cup has ended the same way. Bags packed, tournament done. On June 11, 2026, they have the chance to write a completely different ending. But first, they had to get here. And getting here was its own war. Under Belgian coach Hugo Broos, the man who had already won the Africa Cup of Nations with Cameroon, South Africa rebuilt from scratch. The campaign was not clean. It nearly came undone over a self-inflicted wound. In a qualifier against Lesotho, South Africa fielded Teboho Mokoena when he was due to serve a one-match ban for accumulated yellow cards, an eligibility breach. FIFA handed Mokoena a formal warning, and the South African Football Association was sanctioned, stripped of the points from that match. In a group this tight, 3 points could have ended everything. But Bafana held their nerve. On the final match day, a 3-0 win over Rwanda sealed top spot in Group C, finishing above Nigeria on points, and a return to the World Cup for the first time since 2010. 16 years. 16 years of waiting, suffering, watching. And Bafana are back. So, who exactly will walk out onto the Azteca pitch on June 11th, 2026? The captain, Ronwen Williams. Goalkeeper, leader. At the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations, he saved not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 penalties in a single shootout. 4. Calmly, methodically, like a man who had already seen the future. Striker, Lyle Foster. Pacey, physical, relentless in the press. Midfielder, Teboho Mokoena, the heartbeat of their system. And then there is Oswin Apollos. There was a time not long ago when Apollos was clubless, out of football entirely, his life and his career drifting toward nothing. Then Pretoria Callas gave him a lifeline. He took it. And from there came the breakout. Today, he is one of South Africa's most dangerous attacking threats, the most extraordinary personal story on this entire squad. And now, the number that defines this team more than any other. 19 of the 26 players in this squad play at home, in South Africa's Premier Soccer League. Only 7 play for clubs abroad. This is not a squad of globalized superstars flown in from Europe. This is a people's team, built from the ground up, for the people, by the people. And on June 11th, 2026, they carry every single one of them. Now, the hosts. Mexico, dressed in green, backed by 87,000 in their own stadium, feeling every gram of pressure that brings. Their coach, Javier Aguirre. And here is where the story becomes almost too extraordinary to believe. Javier Aguirre was also Mexico's coach in 2010 against South Africa. In that exact match, he watched Shabalala score. He watched Marquez equalize. He knows this opponent. He has lived this fixture. And now, 16 years later, he stands on that same touchline, facing the exact same nation, carrying the weight of an entire country's expectations. His weapons are formidable. Raúl Jiménez, who fractured his skull and needed emergency surgery after a sickening clash of heads with David Luiz in November 2020. The doctors spoke of risks, of long odds, of a recovery no one could guarantee. But Jiménez never lost belief. In less than a year, he was back on the pitch, and he is still there today, scoring goals in the Premier League. Santiago Jiménez, the AC Milan striker they call Bebote. At Feyenoord, he was lethal, one of the most feared finishers in Europe. But the move to Milan has been harder. Injuries and a loss of form have dimmed that fire. The World Cup is his chance to find it again. In goal, Guillermo Ochoa, 40 years old, his 6th World Cup, a Mexican record. He is only here because first-choice goalkeeper Luis Malagón tore his Achilles weeks before the tournament. The door opened, and Ochoa, at 40, walked through it without hesitation. And then there's the absence that stirred the most noise. Hirving Chucky Lozano, left out entirely. Not for a lack of talent. Aguirre demanded players who were fit, in form, and actually playing, and Lozano was not. At San Diego FC, internal disciplinary disputes, even locker room altercations, had frozen him out. The minutes dried up, the form vanished, and with it went his place on the plane. And hovering over everything, the quinto partido, the 5th game. From 1994 to 2018, Mexico reached the round of 16, 7 tournaments in a row, and lost every single time. The quarterfinal, the 5th game, is the one they cannot seem to win. On June 11, 2026, it all begins. Or, for another generation, it doesn't. But step back. Step all the way back. Because this opening match is not just Mexico against South Africa. It is so much larger than 90 minutes of football. For the first time in FIFA World Cup history, 10 African nations are represented at a single tournament. 10, the most ever. Egypt, Senegal, South Africa, Cape Verde, Ivory Coast, Algeria, Tunisia, Morocco, Ghana, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, back at a World Cup for the first time since 1974. 1.4 billion people on a continent that the football world has historically underestimated, underrepresented, and too often overlooked. 1.4 billion people watching as a team from their land runs out onto the most iconic sporting arena on earth, on the biggest stage of the biggest tournament in the world. South Africa will not carry only their own history onto that pitch on June 11, 2026. They are carrying a continent. They are carrying a statement, a declaration that Africa belongs here, that Africa has always belonged here. And to anyone who ever doubted it, June 11, 2026 is your reminder. And so, here we are. June 11, 2026, Estadio Azteca, Mexico City. On one side, the hosts, powered by history, haunted by a curse, backed by 87,000 of their own people, and desperately hungry to prove that this generation is different. On the other, a people's team, carrying 16 years of exile, built from domestic football, representing 1.4 billion Africans, led by a goalkeeper who saves penalties like he's done it 1,000 times, and a 24-year-old winger who 2 years ago had nothing. 16 years in the making. Thousands of hours of training, sacrifice, heartbreak, and quiet, stubborn redemption. All reduced to 90 minutes. One pitch, one ball, no script. This is why we watch. This is why football, of all the things in this complicated world, still stops everything. If this story moved you, if it reminded you, even for a moment, why you fell in love with the beautiful game, hit subscribe. Because the Jersey Lens is here to tell the stories they don't put on the billboard, the stories that live underneath the scoreline. Leave your predictions in the comments. We read every single one. Mexico versus South Africa. The story starts now.